Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for this week's question and answer video where I'm answering your guys' questions from last week's video, and I encourage all of you to please go down below into the comment section, ask me any questions you want, and I'll answer them in next week's question and answer video that I do every single Monday. If you ever want to just ask me anything, go to the last question and answer video, the most recent, go down there and type in your question, I'll answer them. I'd appreciate it for all of you who have not subscribed to my channel already. Please consider subscribing and voting up or down on this video, comment down below, and ask questions. I want to thank Laura for donation. Thank you for your donation, Laura. I think you're the first one this year, but thank you very, very much. It's really kind of you. It's one of the nicest gestures you can do. You guys are always very thankful and you're very supportive. Thank you. But when someone gives me their hard-earned money, that's very kind of you. Thank you, Laura. Something I like to bring up every couple weeks or so is something called Shane's Law Petition. Shane was a victim of a nasty narcissistic smear campaign, and he had nowhere to turn, and sadly he took his life. Someone that knows Shane, that loved him, made a petition to have a law enacted to stop this kind of harassment and attacks on social media. So I'd appreciate it for all of you, been a victim of it or not. I sure have, and so that's why I have been supporting this and pushing it on you guys for years now. It's gained a whole bunch of traction. There's a lot of people that have supported this, so I'm hoping that eventually soon something happens from it. Thank you. Oh, the link will be right down below in the description box. Thank you. All right, let's get started with the questions. Oh, first, I have a recommendation. Something I like to do every single week is recommend something to you guys to help you heal from trauma, depression, anxiety, better sleep, all these kinds of things. And one thing I'm doing recently is to encourage you guys to find new interests in your life, okay? Coming out of these relationships, traumatic and failed relationships and loss and depression, we don't really feel like doing anything for ourselves. And you're not going to get out of this stuff until you get excited about something, okay? Remember how excited you've gotten over other things in your life in the past? Let's try to do that again. There are many things in this world that you like, that you are interested in, that brings you excitement and joy you don't even know exists. So let's find some of these things, okay? Every once in a while I'm going to recommend some things. This week I'm going to recommend conventions. Conventions are just awesome. I don't know if you guys ever been to one. Expositions, stuff like this. Las Vegas is convention capital of the world. Las Vegas also happens to be, in the States, one of, if not the cheapest places to travel to fly to. A lot of the casinos chip into the airlines and make their tickets go down to bring more people to Las Vegas. And there are conventions all the time, all up and down the strip. And there are very, very affordable, nice rooms that you guys can stay at. I can't think of something better to just spark that interest, and where there's people involved, where you can meet people. Instead of like a dating site, I just want sex or I want a boyfriend. Okay, I want a girlfriend or sex or both. Okay, yeah, let's do something else, something organically. I'm just going to read off. These were, I just noticed this was in 2019, a list of conventions. Go and look. You can look up the Las Vegas Review Journal. That's the paper in Las Vegas. You can look up, just type in Las Vegas conventions. You'll find all kinds of conventions. I'm just going to list some. Wedding and Portrait Photographer Conference Expo, National Electrical Contractors, International Wireless Communications, International Pizza Expo, Compass Conference Management, Meineke, HSF affiliates, I don't know what some of this stuff is, Home Services, Western Troy Hobby Representatives for hobbies, American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, Criminal Defense Lawyers, Modular Building Institute, Market Week, Empire Medical Training, Education, Adobe Systems, Digital Signature Expo, International Travel Goods, Nightclub and Bar, Amusement Expo, just Amusement Expo. God, theater, more medical, broadcasters, security, DART. The NDA Annual Team DART. I knew some of those people. It looked like a lot of fun. 5D events. God, international science, ITEX, merchandising, technology, aerospace, hardware, tortilla industry, hospitality, airborne, air transport, recon, antiques, jewelry. I'm passing through so many. God, World Tea Expo, comics. I mean, you get it, man. I can't think of, I bet it's covered every single thing in the world somehow. You know, what do you like? What are you interested in? You don't know? Not much self-awareness, right? If you have no interest, you're not very interesting. We need to meet people, okay? We've had failed relationships. We need new relationships, okay? We need to find interest in the world, interest in other people, so people find interest in us, things like this, okay? Common interest. You get the point there. I'll put a, maybe I'll put a link to a list of the conventions in Las Vegas down below in the description box. Okay, let's get on to the questions. The first one is from Rory from Ohio. Hi, Rory. When I first started watching channels on narcissism, I listened to that channel you mentioned. I found I didn't learn anything and his style was lacking. There are quite a few other channels hosted by narcissists. They only serve to already hurt people. I get the feeling they are laughing all the way to the bank, and yet they have so many followers. David, would you be able to point out more of these channels, or is that a no-no? One I watched in the beginning, let's just call him Sam, was very disgustingly charming, but very full of himself. Thanks, David. Yeah, great question. I've talked about this before, and I don't mind. I'm not going to talk bad about other channels and stuff. I don't do that, even if they attack me. I don't. You guys know. But so I'm going to say not even opinion, really, first. So I started watching narcissist channels 8 years ago, something like that. I haven't watched one in years. Okay, I don't find. I'm sure there are videos out there where I can maybe learn something from them. I just don't want to be tainted in other people's. There's just so much opinion and misinformation out there. I don't want to be tainted, and I want to be able to say something and not say, well, I heard someone else say that too. You know, it's just all coming from me. So back then, there were two narcissists that had narcissist channels about narcissists. And that was just back then. There was two, Sam Vaknin and HD Tutor. They're still making videos today. So before I give any opinion, they both say that they're narcissists. They've been diagnosed. I believe HD Tutor is also a sociopath. I'm not sure about Sam. He might just be a narcissist. This is what they say. They have also said that doing these videos for you guys makes me better at abusing people. Neither of them are trying to neither of them are trying to be better people or not abuse. No. We abuse people. HD Tutor won't even show his face. What does that show you? Right? Just in case you recognize me, I still want to be able to get you. So that being said, people who have narcissistic personality disorder, people who have personality disorders aren't very self-aware. Okay? And when you have in the cluster B, especially narcissism, it's so manipulative. Okay? It's so manipulative. Machiavellianism. It is when you lack self-awareness and you don't have morals, they're capable of anything, okay? And so when they're trying to tell you about themselves, what narcissists are like and stuff like this, even if they believe it, I don't think it's accurate. Some may be, but some may not be. And what does that do for you? How does that help you? I know I talk about narcissists and borderlines and what I think they're doing and why they're doing it and stuff like this. And they're trying to do that too, but they're doing it from their own point of view. You know, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you what I do about myself all the time. That takes a lot of self-awareness, and I think I have a lot, but I need more. And I'm not trying to convince you of who I am and what I'm doing. I'm telling you stuff that I learned through decades of my own personal experience and years and years and years of informal education. Okay, I've had formal education, doesn't help me with this. That's why half my clients are therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists. They don't know most of this stuff. Okay, they still fall victims to it, even with the formal education. Sam Vaknin, I had the opportunity to watch him behind the camera. Okay, he made a documentary. You guys may be able to find it out there. And he sat there and abused everybody in the documentary. He abused his wife. in the documentary. He is a absolutely disgusting human being who's not trying to be better. So I don't know why we would support that. If you go look on the comments, it's just crazy. It's a bunch of victims that were been victimized, that live in victimhood, and they praise Sam and H.G. Tudor. They kiss their butts. You're so hot. You're so handsome. You're so attractive. I mean, it's just insane. I liked it right when I was the sickest I ever was 8 years ago. I mean, I was getting better, but the sickest I ever was watching YouTube videos was in the beginning, right? And I've just gotten better and better and better. In the beginning, I liked watching them, like a few videos, and it was immediately like, nope, total turn off. And now I couldn't imagine even a minute, a second. As you get healthier, you aren't attracted to narcissists. When you're really attracted to narcissists, you're really unhealthy, right? That's why we fall for these people and stuff like this. I love I don't understand why they're attracted to me. If you're not attracted to a group of people, would it matter if they're attracted to you? You know what I mean? Say I was completely racist, right? And I hated this one race of people, couldn't stand them, right? Would it matter if they liked me? Would I allow them in my life just because they like me? No. Something you're drawn to them. So that's what people are doing in the comment section. They're not healed, right? They're attracted. They're replacing their exes and stuff like this with these guys, where they couldn't get any closure, couldn't get any answers, couldn't get any attention from them, no connection. They're trying, I think, with them. Yeah, so these are two predators that admit they're predators, that say they aren't trying to get better. Matter of fact, the videos and your guys are helping me be a better predator, and they're supporting it. Crazy. Traveling man, don't know where you're from. David, kindly, you missed my question. You said you'd answer it, and I'm very sorry, and thank you very much. And that, please, you guys, and it must be difficult if I miss your question to type it again. Just know that I don't do it on purpose, so please type again. I really want your question, okay? And I don't want to make you feel that way, so thank you for doing it again. I'm sorry I missed it. Can a death in the family trauma trigger BPD in an adult? My ex-girlfriend lost her grandmother, and it's been a complete roller coaster nightmare for me that ended in her leaving. I first thought it was depression, but as I did research, I found your videos. I realized most of the things she was doing correlated directly with BPD, even before the death, during the relationship. Okay, well then you just answered your question. Well, your question is can, and I'm going to have to say yes, because if you, borderline, out of all the disorders, personality disorders, borderline is the one that's most misinformed. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff out there that's just totally inaccurate. So you're going to, if you go look, you're going to find something somewhere, someone says, yeah, you can develop BPD at 30. My opinion really doesn't matter, right? What I can tell you is borderline personality disorder is developed in childhood, okay? And you got to take all three factors, especially with this disorder, all three factors that make up who we are, and that's our culture, that's our genetics and our upbringing, okay? And with borderline, all three really matter. And so borderline has been labeled just a trauma disorder, and that's not necessarily true. Trauma is different in different people. We all react differently to trauma. What may be traumatic to me may not be to someone else. And so borderline already has this predisposure to genetically to this kind of neurosis and trauma reaction. And so it may not take much for them to be traumatized, for them to develop borderline personality disorder. Of all the personality disorders, borderline is the one most common diagnosed as children. If you read about personality disorders in general, it'll say we don't diagnose children. Their brains aren't formed yet, their personalities aren't even beginning to form yet, things like this. But borderline is the one disorder I've noticed that doctors will diagnose children with. Interesting. So it's a really mixture of all three. Who we are really is a mixture of all three. I think culture and upbringing has a lot more to do with genetics as far as our personality is concerned. And if we share the same genetics with our mother and father, and we grew up with our mother and father, are we like our mother and father because of genetics or because we're living with them? Yeah. See that? But BPD is a disorder that has many links in families with schizophrenia, schizotypal. Do you see that? So if you have schizophrenia in your family, I would say chances are you may be more likely to develop BPD in your life. Doesn't mean you will, just may be more likely to. Just like if you have family that has a genetic schizophrenia history, you're also more likely you could develop schizophrenia. Doesn't mean you will. You have to understand genetics. If mom has a history of schizophrenia and dad has a history of schizophrenia, your odds go way up you might have schizophrenia. Doesn't mean you will. It's genetics. And it has a lot to do with BPD. Handling loss and failure, okay, really shows where you are emotionally in maturity. You'll notice typically older people handle death, maybe even possibly even their own, better than children. Okay, as we mature, it gets easier. If you have an adult that just completely loses their entire life shit because a grandparent passes, you know, I don't know the situation, I'm not trying to judge, but it's a sign of immaturity. Okay. And you said she showed signs of BPD before grandma was lost. And that makes sense. Let me know if I answered your question. Thank you. Let us know where you are. Gemini girl, can't remember where you're from. I'm sorry, I should know by now. I was with a borderline who recently got married. I'm struggling feeling connection with others since my relationship with him. I find it difficult to connect with others or feeling like I can relate to anyone. I am angry about everything. Therapy is not an option for economic reasons. Do you have any suggestions or explanations that will help me understand why I'm so miserable? Find a way to talk to somebody that's cheaper that you can afford. We got to do what we got to do. Like you said, I can't go to therapy, I can't afford it. Well, then find a social worker. There's many different ways to get free help and talk, by the way. Okay? And I'm sorry you can't afford it. I understand finances completely. Look around, ask around more. There's a lot of therapists that are just starting that are really cheap, you know, and it doesn't mean they're bad. They may not have the experience, but if we can at least have somebody listen to us, helps. We need it, okay? That's number one. There is no replacing it. And if I don't have the money for it, that doesn't mean that you're going to get better without it. Anyways, just because of the money. So it sounds like you're experiencing trauma. It sounds like you experience trauma. It sounds like you're experiencing depression. I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to leave. I'm just trying to help you. You have some depression symptoms. It's very common to not feel connection, to feel distant from society. That is depression. If I start living my life not a part of society, I will become depressed, right? Look at symptoms of depression. Sleeping during the day. I'm away from society. Do you see that? Staying up all night, not what society's doing. You can literally make yourself depressed doing that. And you can also help depression by forcing yourself to go to bed at night and by forcing yourself to get up during the day, in the morning, okay? Loud helicopter, sorry. That makes us feel disconnected with others. Do you have any suggestions or explanations that will help me understand why I'm so miserable? I have many videos on CPTSD. I'm not saying you have it. You can still have symptoms, and you can watch the CPTS videos and help you, give you suggestions to help you get better still, okay? We don't self-diagnose. You probably really need to talk to somebody. Find a way, save up your money, have one session, at least. One, right? All around healthy, all around. From your mind, your body, yourself, okay? So sleep, eat, exercise, these kinds of things. Find out if you have any other problems. What else are you dealing with? Anxiety, depression, eating disorders, addictions, stuff like this. All of it needs attention. All of this is the time, okay? It really should be the biggest change in your life, probably. And I'm sorry you feel so bad. There's help. And you still, I'm telling you, don't give up. Depression will make us not look. Try to keep looking, force yourself outside, and we need more interactions with people. Just force that interaction. You may not feel natural, you may not like it or want to or get scared, kind of force it. Just don't get close to anybody yet. Go slow, okay, if that helps. Lisa from Ireland. Hi, Lisa. Thank you, David, for another great question and answer video. You are there for us all the time, David, and you put your heart and soul into giving us suggestions, which is so kind of you. Thank you. We celebrate Father's Day yesterday in Ireland. I had a really lovely evening with my parents, and I felt so close to them. When I was involved with the narc, your mother told you that she knew there was something wasn't good for you right from the start. She actually told you years ago when you introduced him to your family, there's something about him that's not right, Lisa. You will waste a lot of time with him. And I also get a feeling he's been around the block. You always felt torn between keeping the narc happy, and then you missed so many family occasions because they didn't want him near. They didn't want him near then, even though they tolerated him for a while. They did it for you. Spending time with your parents is so wonderful now. That's great, right? We lose relationships when we have a toxic one. I love that I'm waiting to meet Mr. Right while I'm with Mr. Wrong. That's never going to happen. You're only going to keep meeting Mr. Wrongs that look like Mr. Right, and everyone's going to look like Mr. Right compared to Mr. Wrong, because you don't know any of these Mr. Rights yet, just like when you didn't know Mr. Wrong yet. How about I didn't confuse you? It's beautiful, Lisa. That's wonderful. It's okay to do what you did, okay, Lisa? I hope you don't have regrets. We have to date, and you're finding out something you like, right? You want, I'm not putting it, it sounds like if you date again, I hope you do, that man should be getting along with your family, you know? And I hope it's not too hard to get along with your family. I hope 8 or 9 out of 10 people generally get along with their family, okay? I sense a little, the fact that you feel so guilty, talk to your parents, because they should love you unconditionally. Shouldn't matter, right? It's okay, Lisa, that you dated someone we don't like. It's okay, Lisa, that you kept dating him. I'm sorry he hurt you. It's okay, we love you. You know, that's how we get rid of guilt. But thanks for sharing that, Lisa. Curious Nettie, don't know where you're from. Great video, David. You addressed every issue I've been struggling with. Very much appreciated. Thank you for telling me, Curious Nettie. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sandra from Melbourne, Australia. Hello, Sandra. Hope you are well. Thank you for your weekly Q&A. You are so informative, and I am God-smacked as to why you're being targeted by YouTube. You are helping the community, and what's happening is corrupt. What can we all do together as a community to help keep up the great work in regards to helpful therapy for recovery besides you? I have a diploma in meditation and yoga. I cannot say it enough how important breathe work along with meditation and yoga is. It is a criteria to help us heal from trauma. Absolutely must. Just like talk therapy is a must. It will bring you at peace and closer to your inner self. Ciao for now. Thank you very much, Sandra. So I don't like to say too much about it. YT. If you notice, you watch other people's videos sometimes and they can't say things, you have to abbreviate things and all that. It's just ridiculous. The problem with shadow banning is they're you know, controlling what you say, censoring you, but the list is private. It's secret. We're not doing that, but they are. And I've watched, you can tell, there's ways to know, and they're doing it big time to me. I used to have thousands of views on a video in a day, and now it's just a few hundred. And still the likes and the comments and all that are way up. They should be pushing it with that kind of activity right away, but they're not at all. And so if you're not subscribed to my channel, you may not find my videos. Hit the notification bell. That usually still doesn't work. This is the things they're doing to me. If you go like my video and go away and come back to the video, it may not be there. You may leave a comment and it disappeared. These are the kinds of things they're doing to me. And if you don't like censorship, you can support me. Like. So, you know, it's kind of weird that I get 10% of likes and some comments compared to views. If you guys like anyone's YouTube videos, support them. They're free. I don't even monetize. I do this all for free. If you like it, support it. Push a button. And the likes, nobody even knows what videos you like. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you very much for your support. Your guys' support has been great. Thank you very much. This is nothing without support. Can't do it. I'd be just talking to myself. Sarah M. from the United Kingdom. Hi, David. I wrote a comment on another one of your videos telling you my ex is stalking my house as my neighbors have caught him several times. Why is he doing this? What does he get from doing this? This is what I wrote to you, Sandra. You may have already read it, but I'm going to read it to everybody else. I'm sorry it's an awful experience, and I hope you are okay. This is dangerous, so please treat it as such. This is dangerous, okay? This is obsession, and he cannot accept failure and loss. His ego has collapsed, and there's nothing left but you to build him back up like you may have before. This is what he's thinking. He has no life and cannot see tomorrow. Be mindful of what you are doing, okay? He has no life. People that are obsessed on other people have no life. Look at teenagers obsessed with musicians and stuff, right? Not much of a life going on. They don't know who they are, right? And so someone who's obsessed really, besides mental health, illness, they have no life. They have no friends. They have no supportive family, nobody to share thoughts and feelings with, okay? And this is somebody who is completely dependent on other people, no self-reliance, can't say you're going to be okay, won't get himself some help, okay? And he literally is 100% solely relying on you to help build him back up. He's very egoistic, doesn't have a self, and that ego completely collapsed. Took a punch way harder, knocked him out, okay? So be very mindful of what you're doing, very mindful, and realize that someone this unstable is unpredictable. And so we don't answer the phone. Try to block your number. It's amazing how many people tell me that someone's trying to kill them and obsessed with them and calls them, but they don't want to change their number. It's, you know, they've had it for so long. Okay. Talk to professionals, okay? You guys can hire me for stuff like this to get more information. I don't tell you everything, and I'm not gonna. I gotta make a living. So you can hire me for more of my time. I have so much advice. The one thing I do with my clients is give them tons and tons of choices and doors they can go through. Because the biggest thing about trauma is feeling helpless, can't escape, don't know how to help myself, no options, nothing there. Okay? Hire professionals. See a lawyer. Talk to another lawyer. Okay? Therapy. We need therapy for stuff like this. I hope I answered your question. Let me know. Thank you. Good luck, Sandra. I have the tiger. Don't know where you're from. Oh, from the Netherlands. Hi. Hi, David. I was wondering if you could make a video about FM. How do you know if someone close to you is a FM? Flying monkey. I had to ask. Flying monkey. I just made a video about flying monkeys 2 days ago. I hope you see it because I replied to you and told you I made it and you never replied. So if maybe if you're watching this, I made a video about flying monkeys for you a couple days ago. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Thank you. And keep the video ideas coming, guys. I'm trying to make a lot more videos now. I'm trying to go like every day. Maybe sometimes twice a day. Maybe sometimes I take a day off. Emma from Sweden. Hi, Emma. As I told you before, I got a new boyfriend. I have noticed that he is a victim of abuse too. And I have told him, and he is open to see it. I have sent him some of videos of yours, and I'm trying to help him. Now I have come to a point where I'm finding myself become the person I was 3 years ago, walking on eggshells, put my guard up, and so on. I have now told him now I feel and set some boundaries. Oh, you told him how you feel, and you've set some boundaries. My problem is and his problems is his. I can't help him even though I want to, but I need to stop helping him with his child's mother. It eats me up from within, the things she do and say. It's like reliving everything with my ex. Do you think we can make it work anyway, or should we break up? I wish everyone a great week from Sweden. I'm sorry, Emma. I'm sorry. I'm sure this isn't what you planned on, what you want it to be. But we have to accept things, okay? So we have a problem. There's a problem. Think of a problem as emotional. Try not to think of problems as something someone's doing. I know that might be confusing, but because we can stop the action, you may not feel better. Make sense? Trust me. The problem is emotional. How does it feel? These feelings need to go away, okay? So should you break up? And I'm not going to tell you if you should break up. I'm not going to tell you if you should stay together. What I'm going to tell you, Emma, is that these problems need to go away, period. Okay? And we fix these problems, and if we can't, we accept it. We accept that he may just be the way he is. We accept that he may not want to change, even though he says it. He's not doing it, not showing it. We accept that even if he changes, I may not feel better, and so the relationship is over. Okay? I'm not telling you what to do, either way. I'm saying this has to be fixed, and we don't ignore it, and we don't say, oh well, and we don't say it's okay, it'll go away, and no. We do it by talking, communicating, be vulnerable, tell him the truth. If it doesn't get fixed, we have to accept it and tell him the truth and end it. Okay? Try to keep it that simple. It really helps to have support doing these things. Go to a therapist and talk to them. Don't go to a relationship therapist. Go yourself. Okay? And they'll help you. I help people a lot with this. I really help them see and understand what's going on. Because relationships are very important. So it's a very important decision and choice. And in a lot of words we can't take back, right? Like, I never want to talk to you again. That's a hard one to take back. Right? I'm sorry, Emma. Okay? I'm sorry. You're learning who he is. Accept what you see. Jennifer Ellis from the United Kingdom. Hi, Jennifer. David, is borderline PD something that comes after something that has happened in life to the person? Or is it nurture and nature, or both? Would you explain, please? Yeah, and I hope you saw earlier when I explained it. It's developmental. Okay? Think of, we all have to develop into fully functioning adults. And until then, we got all kinds of problems. Right? You can't trust children. They lie. Right? Some of them are very aggressive. You got to stop that by like 4. Temper tantrums, manipulation. Kids can be pretty awful. Okay? So we hope to develop them into fully functioning adults. More self-awareness, right? Empathy, things like this. They don't have it. Okay? Little narcissists, right? So, yeah, it's not something necessarily that happened to them. It's something maybe we could say didn't happen. Not to them, something they did not develop into, right? And what we're trying to do is not me, but the psychology world that treats patients with PDs, they're trying to help them develop into adults, fully functioning. They may not ever get away from their disorder, but the parts of the disorder that are dysfunctional, they may be able to help a little. Hope that answers your question, and please go back and refer to the last person that asked me a similar question. Victoria Munez from the Bay Area. Hi, Victoria. Can you please tell me, is there a difference between somebody that is truly sick and needs hospitalization and somebody that is a narcissist playing games? I think, and I'm not sure, okay, so let me know. I think you're asking, are there some narcissists that really are nasty and aware that they're abusing you and gaslighting you and playing games? And then are there some narcissists that aren't aware and they're just sick and they're harmless, not really trying to hurt you even if they do? Sure. I can't speak for, all people, a whole group of people, even with my own experiences and education. It's about self-awareness. So literally, think of somebody that blames you. And we talk about things like projection and scapegoating. The same action could be one or the other, which are very different. Projection, I can't handle this, I'm going to push it onto you. Right? I'm going to make you feel the way I do to address it so I don't have to. And I'm not very aware I'm maybe doing that. That's usually unaware. But the scapegoating, blaming you, making up stories, the things you didn't even do, telling people stuff like this, I would say both. People that actually have narcissistic personality disorder abuse people, period. And they're aware of some of it and not aware of some of it. How's that? And some are nastier and worse than others. Okay? I hope that answered your question. I'm sorry if it didn't, but let me know. Oh, and then you also ask, I enjoyed watching your video. My question is, what is the difference between wisdom and knowledge? And which one are you giving us? A little of both, I'm assuming? Yeah, a little of both. Knowledge, look at the word knowledge. Know. I know. Knowledge comes from experience. That's it. Okay? The egotistical person will claim they know more than you, and I know a lot. Okay? What I tell you I think I know, how do I really even know that? If science is always changing, that means they were wrong once. They thought they knew. Now they really know. Everything I think I know may change in 50 years. Oh, I was totally wrong. I'm just going to tell you about my experiences and what my perception of those experiences are. That's my knowledge. I know, we're talking about abuse, I know that I was abused, or let's say I know I was neglected as a child, and I know now some of the damages that caused me, and things like this, and I can relate them to you, and I have. Wisdom is, what did I do with it? What kind of choices did I make? I made good choices, okay? So a lot of you guys have told me, and I've heard you guys in the comment section tell others, David really knows, he's really good, because he's been through it. Well, let's not trust everyone that's just been through it, right? Someone got beat every day, all day, for 10 years and it finally stopped this morning and they left the person, they got some knowledge, but not much wisdom yet. Okay? And so maybe 10 years later, they said, I pulled through it and I did this and this and this, and it just worked out beautifully for me. Yeah, I'm going to tell you all about it, and that's my wisdom. Okay? Hope you understand. Let me know. Thank you. And Jennifer again. Hi, Jennifer. You mentioned dog whistling. What does this mean? So, dog whistling is another form of abuse tactic. For those of you who don't know, you've probably had it happen to you. You just didn't know it was called dog whistling. So think of a dog whistle, right? You know, a little dog, this isn't, but just pretending. A dog whistle is for dogs. It's a training technique. So they do something wrong or right, you're going to go, shh, shh, shh. It catches their attention. It's a great training tool because you don't want to really address bad behaviors. You want to just keep them from doing it. And so they start doing something bad and you just kind of go, shh, or you can like poke them sometimes, stuff like this, and it gets their attention. So, or it's an alert, like go. The problem with the dog whistle, humans can't hear it. It's out of a range that we can't hear. Only dogs can hear. Okay? And so what that means is, while I'm whistling to my dog, you don't know. I mean, you see me do this, but let's just say, right? I'm giving him commands. And only the dog can hear, and it's doing all kinds of things, and it's just between me and the dog, and nobody has a clue. So you ever been in public, a party setting, something like this, where your abuser is doing stuff to hurt you, to piss you off, to make you insecure, but nobody else can tell? Maybe a word you don't like, some behavior, maybe it's come to the point now where you've addressed my flirting so much, it's ridiculous, to the point where if I'm going to argue that I'm not flirting, I better just, the next party we go to, I better just not talk to women very much, right? And be more attentive to my wife. No, I start going, oh my God, you're so pretty, so cute. Or maybe it's a little word you like. Maybe you hate, I know a lot of girls don't like the word babe. Like if you were my girlfriend and I called another girl babe and you hate it, but here I am going, hey babe. Or it's a word I call you. I only call you babe and you love it. And now I'm calling a girl babe where anybody else may not think much of it and you're sitting there just going. And I look at you and smile. And I go twist my head like that. Like, you like that? Nasty. Freaking nasty. I've had so much of that. All you can do is leave, which makes a scene, or make a scene, or just put up with it. Wait till you get home to address it. That's all you can do, right? Walk out, leave, make a scene, address it. It's all a scene. Or you just sit there quietly and don't do a thing. Wait till you get home. Wait till they leave. Saying, so why were you doing that to me? Oh God, get over yourself. That's dog whistling. Neat, huh? Oh, and Jennifer has one more. What does narc fantasizing mean? What makes them do this? Do they believe such fantasies? Thank you. I think I addressed all of that in a video I just did yesterday. And it's a Sunday and I hardly got any views, but tons of comments and likes. Go check it out. Go check it out if you guys can, please, and think about voting up on it. Thank you. Let me know, Jennifer, if I did address your questions. Nick Vito, I don't know where you're from. Do you offer one-on-one services? Yes, thanks for asking. Just so happens to be the last question. Link is right down below, right in the beginning of the description box, or you can go to daviddemars.com. Okay, go down into the little email box, send me a message, ask me questions about my services, anything you want. Okay, I do offer one-on-one coaching. I have lots of availability. I'm very flexible. I have clients all over the world. I've been doing this for many years, so hire me. Okay, you can always just try me out for an hour. All right, thank you guys. Love yourself first, unconditionally, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.